Hello and welcome to qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix. Here we go then, we're going to start our lap now and try and get into Q2. It's going to be quite difficult to do so. So we're not going to aim too highly. We want to be around P17, which is where we are now, as we just set a lap time before. This is our 4th lap now. We want to get as many laps as possible. Because we don't really care about our tyres too much, as we won't be needing those in the race. So here we go then, round the final corner, and well, look at the top right there, we're up on our delta time and it's going to be P16 at the moment, so just one place behind where we need to be to get into Q2, but there's enough time just to do this one final lap. So here we go then, around the final few corners, and it looks like it's not going to be an improvement. The checkered flag is out, that is it. Q1 is over and we lift and coast across the line, as we know that is not enough. So P18, which is actually quite good considering we are in a Sauber, so we'll be hoping for something dramatic to happen in the race to score points. And as you can see there, Räikkönen topping Q1, so he's looking good for Q2 and Q3 to get pole position here, but we don't know if the other cars were turning their cars up to their full potential. So Hamilton, Vettel and even Bottas could have an answer for Räikkönen. So P18 it is. We outqualified our teammate and Fernando Alonso. Alonso there getting beaten by his inexperienced teammates of Stoffel Vandoorne. Well, it was Lewis Hamilton out-qualifying Kimi Räikkönen by 0.02 of a second. Vettel lines up third, followed by Bottas in fourth. Massa beating the two Red Bulls of Verstappen and Ricciardo there. A notable performance from Stroll as well, getting in comfortably into Q3 there and qualifying in 8th place. Not a good day for the Renaults, and especially the Saubers and the McLaren Hondas, which well, we all really expected to be down in the bottom positions there on the grid. So, and as you can see, it is going to be a wet start for this race. Wet tyres then for this first race, or the first stint in this race, and it should turn drier to intermediates and then it will be dry in the end. That is what the race weather forecast is predicting, and this could be a good opportunity actually for us to score points if we can try and overtake these cars as they go into turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 really cautiously. We could possibly get ourselves up into P12, P11, and then if there's a couple of retirements ahead, it could mean a point or two. But at the moment, we have to set our expectations low. We know this car isn't as great as all the others in front of us. But here we go then, 5 red lights. And the Australian Grand Prix is go, and that's a good start there from Hamilton. A slightly better one than from Kimi Räikkönen. There's a Williams starting in the middle there, but it seems like Hamilton's got this under control as they head into turn 1 there. And, well, So Hamilton leads comfortably there as they go into turn 3 now, and Bottas is trying to overtake a Ferrari there of Sebastian Vettel, and he does it, but Vettel will have that inside line into the next corner, and they're going to go side by side here, and I think Bottas has this under control surely as he gets the inside line for the next corner, and Vettel's still there. They're still side by side, and who is going to get this one? And Bottas mysteriously there. Right, so let's see what happened to us at the start here. So as you can see, the 5 lights go out and we get a good start overall, getting the slipstream of Palmer, and look at that, already we're losing a little bit of time there with the old Ferrari engine, and we dive it down the inside here. Ocon doesn't give us any space, probably because he didn't know we were coming from that far back. And well, we're up into 13th there, and we're getting the slipstream from Nico Hulkenberg, and we're going to send our car down the inside, and we're up into P12 now, so this is an excellent position to be in, considering we started from P18, and now we can see Grosjean and Magnussen, it's the two Hasses there, battling each other for position on the first lap of the race. And well, we're trying to get past Perez, and we get past a Haas as well of Grosjean, so that's a double overtake there into that corner, and we're up into P10, we're into the points. That is absolutely incredible. To be in the points in a Sauber already is amazing, and we know how difficult it is to overtake around this track, so to be in this position early on is a real bonus for us. And our expectations of scoring points were very low at the very beginning of the race, before the 5 lights went out when we were doing our formation lap, but now surely we should be thinking of holding the guys behind us off and getting a great position. But look at that, we're going wide there into that corner, and that's cost us a lot of time. But skipping to lap 5 now, and look at that, we are actually keeping up here with the cars ahead. Surprisingly, the Sauber is really good in these conditions, or I have to say I might have been very good in the wet, or you know, it could be the car or the driver. But anyway, down the inside we go, Magnussen to take 9th place off him, so that will be 2 points for us. And we can see Lance Stroll there, so possibly we could get 8th place here, as Massa and the Red Bulls and the Ferraris and the Mercedes have gone off into the distance, so there's no way we could catch them now. But to get 9th place even is just incredible. And as you look in the bottom left hand corner of your screen, you should see, well, you shouldn't be able to see a different coloured dot of my teammate, so he is really struggling for pace there in the wet conditions. And 3, 2, 1, go. See, we are now entering intermediate conditions, and I see Stroll ahead. I know I'm coming into the pits this lap. I've decided I think it's time, and Stroll coming into the pits really does reassure me that it's time for the intermediate tyre. So here we go then, putting on the pit limiter, getting right up behind Stroll there, and now it's a case of can we gain from this pit stop phase. So my teammate also comes into the pits, but we should have enough of an advantage to not delay him. And look at that, we get ahead there of Lance Stroll, and in fact it's Perez now who is our closest contender here, and we rejoin the track in 13th. But as you see, Alonso there staying out on the wet tyres there, so obviously he's going for a different strategy, hoping for some kind of miracle in that McLaren Honda. But anyway, so as we start lap 9 now, we are just coming into turn 3, and it's all looking good so far. The tyres are working perfectly, so this should be good enough to maintain 9th place that we had, and possibly even get into 8th. Well, we know we're definitely going to get 8th, but it really depends on these cars ahead and see how their lap times do with such different tyres than us with the wets. And we rejoin there. Well, we don't rejoin, but we pass the pits then, and we do take 8th place. And Ricciardo has actually lost a little bit of time there, so that's really interesting to see. But here we are now on lap 13. Hamilton sets the fastest lap, and Ricciardo then retires from the Grand Prix. So as you can see, he's pulled off to the side of the track, and that is Ricciardo then out with some kind of issue, probably to do with the Renault power unit, but we can't blame Renault too early on. We've got to wait until the end of the Grand Prix, and after you know, all those investigations and all those people try and work out what happened to Ricciardo. But we head into the pits then at the end of lap 21, and we're gonna put on the soft compound of tyres, and we are actually the first people to go onto the slick tyres. Nobody else has decided to do that, and we are the first one, so this is going to be interesting and quite useful for my teammate and to all the others out on track to see whether it is time to go onto the soft tyres first, or the slicks really, because there are 3 different tyre compounds that you can use today, and I do think that people will go onto the softs because you can definitely make it to the end of the Grand Prix with the soft tyres. So anyway, we'll see about that. And look at that, that is perfect timing there. DRS is now enabled, and that means that race control think the track is dry enough for DRS, which means that the track is, although there is a lot of water coming off the tyres there, it is definitely time for the slick tyres. So it looks like I've timed this to perfection, and possibly I could get a huge undercut on possibly Massa and Ricciardo and Verstappen. So we'll just have to wait and find out. Look at the difference there as I catch up to Van Dorn on those intermediate tyres that he was on. And look at that, as you can see, we're overtaking people now, and we're up now into 11th place. So it's only 11th, but look at that, look ahead, and you can see that Palmer then is in 10th, and he's still on the intermediate tyres, so he's trying something different here. He probably thinks that there's still spray coming off the tyres, so that might indicate to him that it is still time, or not time yet, for the dry tyres. But as we come forward in after the chicane, he pulls over to the side of the track, and that is his race over. So Palmer then retires, and that brings out the safety car. So the safety car has been deployed, and well, that is really tough for Renault, of course, having Ricciardo retire early on in this Grand Prix, and to have Palmer as well, that is really concerning. So that is really concerning for them. But anyway, here we are then, trying to catch up to the safety car. For Van Dorn making a pit stop then and changing his front wing, so he must have had some contact possibly with another car that we didn't get to see, unfortunately. But he rejoins the track then, and well, that's actually helped Van Dorn, because if this wasn't under safety car conditions, he would have lost out dramatically here. And well, here we go then, the safety car's coming in, and we are wanting to get past this Williams car, and there's Bottas going extremely slowly there, and we're getting past a lot of cars there around the outside, and unfortunately we're going to have to hand that position back to Max Verstappen there, but we might be able to get it back soon down into turn 3 if we can just manage it. But we don't know what happened to Bottas there. He must have had some kind of car issue there. He was going extremely slowly, and oh no, it's not a car issue there, look, it's a tyre issue. His right rear has been punctured somehow. That's very interesting to see, presumably because he just made a pit stop with that new fresh tyres. But down the inside we go of Max Verstappen, and there's a bit of contact there between a Force India of Perez, and there's Massa as well. So we've managed then to get ourselves up into 4th place, but I don't think we'll be in this position much longer, as here comes Verstappen down the outside. He's going to try and move around the outside of this right-hander, and he's done it. But we're going to try our very best to still hang on in there as Hamilton sets the fastest lap. There's contact between Verstappen and myself, but I decide finally to let him go, and well, he'll probably lap us anyway. He's got that much of a faster car. But here comes Massa now, and he's already got us before the turning point for the corner. And here comes the Force India's Perez then, making contact with Massa, and that's allowed us to go around the outside of all those cars, and we're up into 5th place yet again. And look at Perez, that was not a great move to make, or Massa might have actually squeezed Perez there, so it might have been both of their faults. But anyway, we've got yellow flags here, no overtaking, and it's Bottas, so he hasn't even got to the pits yet, and we've lapped him. My goodness me, he's really trying to save his car there, but he's going too slowly there. That has really cost him some, well, at least 10th place. I would have presumed he would have fought back for to score some good points for Mercedes on his Grand Prix debut for the team. But here we go then on lap 30, and we've got Massa and Perez, that is, trying to go down the outside. We have to cut the corner a little bit to avoid contact. Perez shoves us off, and oh dearie me, Perez there going off and hitting Massa, and there was another car going off there, and I believe he's out, whoever that is, and we're looking at a replay here of what happened there. Look at Perez. Oh dear, contact with myself, having to go off, and that's Ocon. That was his teammate that Perez shoved off the track. Look at this. So here's a slow-mo here, riding on board with Massa, and you can see then how Perez got all out of shape there, and I ran wide trying to avoid him, and Perez somehow still hit me, hitting Massa. Luckily Massa didn't get any puncture there, and well, there goes Ocon into the wall, and that's promoted Toro Rosso as well. And finally then, at the same time as all this is kicking off, Bottas is in the pits, but he'll be 2 laps down from his teammate, and oh, that was a hard impact there. Look at that, Ocon into the wall. What a shame. Let's just re-watch this again. So look at this, minding his own business. Where was he supposed to go apart from in the barrier? And that is the end of Esteban Ocon's race for Force India. And now Perez has had to make a pit stop for a new front wing, and well, Perez has cost Force India dearly here. And at the same time this is all going off, look at this, a couple of laps later, Pascal Wehrlein has some kind of issue, and that is concerning for me. And Alonso as well decides to slow down there. Maybe he's given up already around one of the Australian Grand Prix, but it seems like he had some kind of car issue. But now McLaren Honda have fixed it. Well, mainly Honda. It was probably a power unit issue. But here we go then. Massa's trying to attack us. The same thing as Perez did. But this time Massa swerves and hits us. And, well, here's a replay just to show you. It wasn't really too much my fault. I didn't really expect Massa to go down the inside there. You never, ever see a car try and overtake there. And if they do, it mainly ends up in contact. But here we go, a few laps later now, and Perez is actually holding up the leader of the race, Lewis Hamilton, and you can see Sebastian Vettel isn't too far behind. So this has really cost Lewis Hamilton quite a bit of time here, all this traffic that they're having to negotiate. And Vettel then is in DRS range, so possibly Vettel could steal the win here. There's still quite a few more laps to go, as we're on lap 45 now, heading through the fast chicane, and there's yellow flags behind. What has gone on here? Here's Bottas trying to get out of the way of all the traffic, and oh dear, and there was contact there between Bottas and Vettel then. So we'll have another look at what happened here, but he's lost his front wing then. Oh dear, nearly getting into another incident there with a Haas and a Toro Rosso coming by at speed, and oh, that was so unlucky for Bottas. He should have backed out a little bit more, it has to be said, but oh well. And here we go then, trying to hold up Hamilton a little bit here, because we are having a Ferrari engine powering us, so we really do want Vettel to win this race for Ferrari. And there's a blowout, and who's that? That's Hulkenberg. So there's another Renault engine gone. When Hulkenberg was sure enough he was going to score points, it all blows up in his face, or literally behind him. But here we go then, lap 55, only a couple of laps to go, and Perez again has gone sideways and hits Stroll, and there goes a Haas as well. Oh dear, that was a nasty incident there. Perez losing a bit of his front wing, and Massa as well making contact yet again. Oh dear, what has gone on there? Let's have a look at a replay, and who is this? This is the Haas driver, and Stroll. Oh dear, Perez again crashing into another car, but not just one car, it's 2 cars he's made contact with. That is Romain Grosjean out of this Grand Prix, so is Lance Stroll, and Perez, who caused that crash, somehow, look at the amount of damage and collision there was. But yeah, Perez somehow managed to survive that, but Stroll and Grosjean didn't. But here we go on the 57th lap here of the Grand Prix, and this is our last lap obviously, because we did get lapped by the leaders, and we are just hoping that Sainz won't have a go down into the final few corners here. It doesn't look like Sainz will have a go here, which means that we will finish in 5th place. Lewis Hamilton, by the way, has won the Grand Prix. He did that a long time ago, a couple of minutes ago actually. And anyway, here we go, 5th place then. So on our debut for Sauber, we have scored 10 points. That is absolutely unbelievable. I cannot believe that has happened when, well, even after lap 1, when we were sitting in 10th place, we didn't really think we'd get 5th, but with all the craziness that has gone on there, we've managed to steal 5th from, well, Ricciardo retired, of course, and all those collisions behind, but we did do a fantastic job in the wet as well as in the dry, trying to hold up all those cars behind us. Most of those actually making an extra stop. I think we were the only car to make a 2-stop work, so that was interesting. But look at that, Hamilton wins the race after getting pressurized from Sebastian Vettel throughout that race. Well, not really throughout, but during the final few stages. Yeah, what a great drive from Lewis Hamilton there. Vettel taking 2nd place, and Räikkönen's not too happy about getting sprayed with champagne by Hamilton there. But that's a good day for Ferrari, you know. With Bottas not retiring, but with Bottas scoring no points today, that will mean that Ferrari would take the lead of the championship by 8 points, I believe. So here's the result. So Hamilton wins from Vettel, Räikkönen, Verstappen in 4th, and look at the gap there. That is concerning for Red Bull. And 5th place was me. The only car, and that was the first car, sorry, was myself to get lapped. Sainz 6th, Kvyat 7th. A great day for Toro Rosso. 8th is Felipe Massa. 9th Alonso, and 10th was Kevin Magnussen, who got a 5-second time penalty there, and that was for ignoring yellow flags, and so did Bottas. And Perez, after all those collisions, is 2 laps behind in 11th place. Very surprising then that he managed to survive all the collisions and contact he had throughout that race. Van Dorn then getting into 12th place, so unfortunate for him. If he didn't have to repair his front wing, who would have known what would happen there? Bottas, what an awful race that was for him. It was good to start off with, but you couldn't really say it was good in the first couple of laps, because he was being outperformed by not only his teammate, but Sebastian Vettel and Kimi Räikkönen, who you have to say have the slower car at this moment in time, because Hamilton did manage to win the race. Although it was just by a tiny margin, still, he won it on pure pace there. 14th is Grosjean, and in fact this is the beginning of the DNFers. So Grosjean, of course, crashed out, or got crashed into really, by Perez there. He could do nothing really to avoid that. 15th is Stroll, again DNFing there. Really unfortunate, and where Perez lost it is at a place around the track where there's no runoff area, so if you want to try and avoid something on the track, you're going to hit the barrier, and it's either hitting the barrier or making contact with another car, and unfortunately that's what happened there. 16th was Hülkenberg. We saw him have a spectacular engine failure there. Really unfortunate for Hülkenberg. He was in the points until that engine blew out, and you have to say, because Palmer also retired, and that is really poor reliability there for a Renault, so that's really concerning for the Renault team, and as well to Renault as an engine provider, because Ricciardo's car also failed, so I wonder if that was engine related as well. 17th is Wehrlein. Really disappointing that he retired so early on in the race, but you just have to deal with it really. It could have been a double points finish for Sauber, but oh well, we'll just have to move over to the next race, and that is quite concerning really, because now I've got reliability issues in the back of my mind, but we've got an upgrade coming for Bahrain that should deal with that, or you know, try and reduce that from happening a little bit. Esteban Ocon DNFing, getting crashed into by his teammate Sergio Perez. Perez in this race was an absolute disgrace. He was trying to go for so many moves, and when he goes side by side with somebody through a corner, it seems as if he always seems to lose the back end, and when he corrects it, he smashes into somebody else, and he's just ruined his teammates' race there. So really unfortunate for Ocon that we didn't get to see what he could have done later on in that race. So Palmer DNFing, he had some kind of issue, no smoke, so it wasn't the same issue that Hulkenberg had, but it did seem like another fault on Renault's side. Maybe not in the engine department, but maybe a gearbox or something else. And in 20th and last place there, Daniel Ricciardo at his home race as well. What a shame. He'll be wanting to get out of the Albert Park circuit as quickly as possible. As well, that actually happened in the real life Grand Prix, so this game is quite realistic indeed. And the fastest lap of the race, I believe, goes to Sebastian Vettel. Yes, it does. 1:24.8. So if you're looking at fastest laps, you've got to say Ferrari are the quickest, but there's still quite a few others, like Mercedes, who are quite close. But Red Bull definitely not there yet. Let's have a look at the race director and see all the collisions. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff. Quite clean actually, before the safety car came out, surprisingly. And we get to see here what the failures were for. And oh no, it just says mechanical. Okay, so we already knew that. And we get to see also what Magnussen got his penalty for. He got a stop-go penalty, so a 5-second time penalty added to the end of his time because he didn't serve it during the race, because it was on lap 55, very late on in the Grand Prix. And yeah, so Magnussen and Bottas's penalties were for ignoring yellow flags. Okay, that's very interesting. And let's have a look at the standings then. So Hamilton leads, and basically this is the order of the Grand Prix results anyway, so you pretty much know what they are. So Ferrari lead the championship there by 8 points from Mercedes, of course. If Bottas wouldn't have had that puncture, you have to say Mercedes would be leading the championship at the moment. But so far it's an advantage to Ferrari, but you have to say Hamilton winning this race is a concern to the Maranello team. Third place goes to Toro Rosso. Big congratulations to them. Good solid double points finish for them, beating Red Bull. Well, not on the track, but in terms of getting two cars home, you know, and getting them up into a good solid point scoring position. There they are in third. Red Bull Racing there, 2 points behind Toro Rosso in fourth place, and 2 points ahead of Sauber. Fifth place for Sauber. Before this race I had no expectation of scoring points, and we've come home with not 1 but 10 points. Williams Racing 4 points. You have to say, without Stroll crashing out or getting taken out, and Massa having that contact and spin with myself, you have to say, you know, Williams should have scored more, but that is Grand Prix racing, unfortunately. McLaren get some points early on the board. Fantastic, 2 points. That is a really good start to their season, although you have to say that was mainly down to luck, really. 8th place, Haas, 1 point there. That's a good result for them, and the two teams who have yet to score points are Force India and Renault. Now you have to say that it looks like it's going to be quite a competitive season, considering 8 of the 10 teams have already scored points. So that's looking fantastic. So here we go. So overall we get 175 resource points for getting 5th place. Are you joking? Wow. Okay, so it looks like you need to focus on the practice programs instead of actually racing and getting good positions. Seems like those are the most important times for the resource and development side of the garage and side of things. 96% of the time we got a clean lap in, which is quite good, but I bet others will get 100%. But saying that, I did do 100% race, so yeah. Pass, yep, okay, all good. And in terms of my teammate rivalry, oh yes, okay, so we are leading that. We are winning it by 4 points there. We finished the race, Pascal didn't, although that wasn't really his fault. That he failed to finish. Finishing position, of course, we won that. Podium, no, of course not. Penalty free, yes, and fastest lap. We did get the fastest lap, but Verline, of course, had a heavier car when he set that lap, and he didn't really get any chance to show his true potential throughout that race because he was actually stuck behind other cars. Well, he wasn't really stuck, it was me holding everyone up basically, but oh well. And look at that reputation level. I make contact with a Williams car and look at that. They have boosted me there in their minds of their reputational ladder. Wow. A little bit of interest there from Ferrari and Mercedes, and Toro Rosso as well. Look at that. Oh, loads of teams really liking what I did out on track there. And +4, +2, finished 19th or ahead. So we basically overachieved in this race. And my career score is raced by performing well on the track. Oh, well, you know what? I did do well on the track. And here is our career score. Okay, yeah, it's a bit of a failure, really. No flashbacks. Yeah. The reason why it says no flashbacks is because I tested out the flashback system in the race, and I think that's why it counted as no flashbacks. But oh well. Penalty free weekend. Yes, we got a pass for that. And so our score so far is 9,700. No, 9,796. Nice. And oh,
And this is Jonathan.
Jonathan.
Some of his cars.
Well, not quite my cars per se.
And yeah, what a long episode it's been. What a crazy race. Thank you for watching, and until next time, which shall be the Bahrain Grand Prix, goodbye.